Hello everyone, today's topic is prostate gland. The prostate is a conical fibromuscular glandular organ surrounding the proximal part of male urethra. Correspond with paraurethral glands of female developmentally. Secretion of prostate forms considerable part of semen. It's slightly acidic, contains acid phosphatase, fibrinolysin, prostaglandin and large amount of zinc. Situation: it lies in lesser pelvis below the neck of bladder. So in this diagram we can see this is urinary bladder. So below the neck of bladder there is presence of this prostate gland. This is prostate gland above the urogenital diaphragm, behind the lower part of symphysis pubis, anterior to rectal ampulla and on each side embraced by levator ani muscle. This is levator ani muscle. This is perineal membrane. Measurements: chestnut in appearance, transverse diameter 4 cm, vertically 3 cm and anteroposteriorly 2 cm. Weight of this gland is 8 grams. Coverings of prostate gland: it is invested by inner true capsule and outer false capsule. True capsule intimately invests entire prostate and formed by condensation of fibrous stroma of gland. False capsule or prostatic sheath derived from visceral layer of pelvic fascia. At bladder neck, false capsule is attached to the pubic bones by medial and lateral puboprostatic ligaments. Posteriorly, capsule blend with rectovesical fascia of Denonviller. Space between true and false capsule is occupied by prostatic venous plexus except at posterior surface of gland. Parts of prostate gland: apex, base, anterior surface, posterior surface. Apex directed downward. This is apex directed downward in contact with superior fascia of urogenital diaphragm. Base directed upward surrounding the neck of the bladder, pierced by urethra in median plane at the junction of anterior 1/3 and posterior 2/3 of the gland. Anterior surface narrow and convex and situated about 2 cm behind lower part of symphysis pubis, separated by retropubic fat, prostatic venous plexus and deep dorsal vein of penis. Posterior surface broad, flat, related to the ampulla of rectum, separated by rectovesical fascia. This surface is palpable by rectal examination about 4 cm above anus. Posterior surface is subdivided by transverse groove into upper small and lower large areas. It is pierced by ejaculatory ducts on each side. The upper area forms median lobe. Lower area is subdivided by a median sulcus into two lateral lobes. Each of two inferolateral surfaces related to the anterior fibers of levator ani, which act as levator prostatae. Anterior resters of ischiorectal fossa lie outside the levator ani. Lobes of prostate gland: anatomically divided into 3 lobes, medial and 2 lateral. Surgically 5 lobes, median, anterior, posterior and 2 lateral. The median lobe is wedge shaped, apex directed below towards colliculus seminalis. Base forms uvula vesicae at the apex of trigonum vesicae, bounded anteriorly by urethra, behind and on each side by ejaculatory duct, behind and in the median plane by prostatic utricle. This lobe is predominantly fibromuscular with mucous gland. So, in this diagram we can see this is posterior lobe, this is anterior lobe, this is ejaculatory duct and this is prostatic urethra. This is apex, this is median lobe. This is opening of ejaculatory duct and opening of prostatic utricle. This is prostatic sinus. These are lateral lobes and this is posterior lobe. The two lateral lobes are separated by posterior median sulcus, but deep to the sulcus and behind urethra both the lobes are continuous. This continuity is described as posterior lobe surgically. Each lateral lobe covers side of urethra and in front of urethra are connected by fibromuscular isthmus, which is known as anterior lobe in fetal life, containing glands. In this diagram we can see this is ejaculatory duct, this is transverse sulcus, this is posterior median sulcus, these are lateral lobe and this one is median lobe. Structures traversing the prostate gland. Structures are prostatic urethra, pair of ejaculatory duct and prostatic utricle. Prostatic urethra runs vertically downwards from base to slightly in front of apex at the junction of anterior 1/3 and posterior 2/3 of gland. Pair of ejaculatory duct, each passes posterolateral to median lobe, opens at the colliculus on each side of prostatic utricle. Prostatic utricle is about 2 mm long, extend upwards and backwards from colliculus behind the median lobe. Structure of posterior gland, prostate gland consists of 1/4 fibrous, 1/4 muscular and 2/4 glandular tissue. Fibrous tissue forms two capsule at the periphery. Posteromedian fibrous septum connects capsule with urethral crest. Muscular tissue, smooth muscle continuous with detrusor muscle arranged in outer and inner sheath, connected by radiating fibers. Spaces between these fibers occupied by follicles of the gland. There are transversely oriented arched striated muscle fibers within the prostate anterior to the urethra, blending with fibrous capsule posterolaterally and with posteromedian septum. Gland of prostate are arranged in three layers: inner mucus, intermediate submucous and outer main gland. So, in this diagram, this is centermost mucous gland, these are submucous gland and around the periphery these are main prostatic gland and this is posteromedian septum. These are striated muscle fibers and this is prostatic urethra and this is outermost fibrous capsule. Arterial supply of prostate by inferior vesical artery, middle rectal artery and internal pudendal arteries. Venous drainage, veins from prostatic plexus in between two veins form prostatic plexus in between true and false capsule. Plexus receives deep dorsal vein of penis anteriorly and communicates above with the vesical venous plexus, finally draining into internal iliac vein. Few veins from prostate pass backward to anterior sacral foramina, draining into internal vertebral venous plexus known as paravertebral veins of Batson. Metastatic spread of cancer prostate to vertebrate causes. So, in this diagram we can see this is venous plexus. Lymphatic drainage, interiliac group of lymph node, extrailiac group of lymph node and sacral group of lymph nodes. Nerve supply, superior hypogastric plexus conveys sympathetic nerves, Parasympathetic fibers derive from pelvic splanchnic nerves conveying preganglionic fibers from S2, S3 and S4. Next point is about age changes in prostate. At birth, the prostate is small in size and is made up mainly of stroma, in which a simple duct system is embedded. During the first 6 weeks after birth, the epithelium of the ducts and of the prostatic utricle undergoes hyperplasia and squamous metaplasia under the stimulation of maternal estrogens. Thereafter, up to the age of 9 years, changes are negligible. Between 9 and 14 years, the duct system becomes more elaborate by formation of side buds, and the gland slowly increase in size. At puberty, the male hormones bring about rapid changes in the gland. In about 1 year, it becomes double its prepubertal size due to rapid growth of the follicles and condensation and reduction of the stroma. From 20 to 30 years, there occurs marked proliferation of the glandular elements with infolding of the glandular epithelium into the lumen of the follicles, making them irregular. From 30 to 45 years, the size of prostate remains constant and involution starts. The epithelium infoldings gradually disappear and amyloid bodies increase in number. After 45 to 50 years, the prostate is either enlarged called the benign hypertrophy or reduced in size called the senile atrophy. Enlargement of prostate. After 50 years of age, the prostate is often enlarged due to benign hypertrophy or due to the formation of an adenoma. This causes retention of urine due to distortion of the urethra. Enlargement of the median lobe not only projects into bladder but forms a sort of valve over the internal urethral orifice, so that more patient strains, more it obstructs the passage. Urine passes when the patient relaxes. Digital examination of the rectum is very helpful in the diagnosis of an enlarged prostate. Removal of such a prostate called prostatectomy relieves the urinary obstruction. During removal, the enlarged gland is enucleated, leaving behind both the capsule and venous plexus between them. The prostate can be removed through bladder called a transvesical, through prostatic capsule retropubic, or through perineum and fascia of denumbular perineal approach, or through urethra transurethral resection. In this diagram, we can see prerectal examination of prostate gland. Benign prostatic hyperplasia occurs in periurethral zone. Carcinoma of prostate occurs in peripheral zone. So, this is all about prostate gland. Thank you so much.